Hello and welcome to WOW's Operation Replays. I'm your host, Lord Holland4293, and today I am reviewing the Siliwangi, the other Tier 8 Premium Pan-Asian Destroyer. Now, Siliwangi is basically, an Ognivoid. Now, while Lo Yang has really great survivability and just a 3.3 reload, Siliwangi is a little bit different. So let's bring her up. So, she's obviously coated with the same armor and the same, basic economic bonuses. So, but you look at her health pool. She has a pretty good sizable health pool for 20,000 versus Lo Yang's 17. So that's about like a shell or two more. Not much, but it adds up. Now, look at her reload. She only gets 2 guns. Now, she gets basically 4 guns, 2 turrets, but it's about a 5-second reload for both of them. But her velocity is pretty decent, 870 and 870 for the HG. Actually, decent velocity. So it allows shooting at long range, and it's a 12.5 detection versus Lo Yang's 11.6. Now, let's bring up Soviets, because I do have Ognivoy here. Just let me find that for you. There we go, Ognivoy. Now, Ognivoy does... Now, when you go to Ognivoy, it does get, it's basically... The ship is basically an Ognivoid. It's, the same torps, so... Reload, range is still the same. Siliwangi. And then let's go to torps. Now, this is where it differs. So, let's bring up Ognivoy. 15,000 and 57 knots. Not bad. But then let's go to Siliwangi. We're doing a 10-kilometer range versus Ognivoy's 10-kilometer range also. So, same range. But 57 versus 62 knots. And 15,000 damage versus 18,000 damage. These torps hit hard. Now, like Lo Yang, she gets a typical... It's not American smoke. This is actually Pan-Asian smoke that Siliwangi gets. So, you can actually smoke up, farm, and by the time you're done with that smoke screen, your normal smoke is almost off cooldown. And she gets like 5 charges. 6 charges was consumable with Superintendent. So that's even better. And she also gets the exact same Hydra that Lo Yang does. So that's great for pushing. That's great for being really aggressive. And since Siliwangi's not really seen that often, people aren't really used to it and forget that the ship has that Hydra. Now, she doesn't get the ability to put engine boost on there or anything. So, you're stuck with the 7-second rudder shift and the 37 knots. So, she is a slower DD. But with speed flag, 38 knots. So, it's not like Lo Yang where you're jumping like 2 whole knots. It's still a very slow DD. So, you gotta think ahead. Concealment-wise, 5.9. And it's like 6.6, 6.4 without Concealment Expert. So, definitely recommend putting concealment modules on this ship, because otherwise you're going to be spotted from the moon, because you need stealth to make this thing work. And with the ability to stealth torp with about a 4-kilometer range, that's very good for a destroyer. If you kill all the destroyers and you just have battleships and cruisers, you're going to wreck with these things. She's an amazing ship. Now, for camouflage-wise, she just gets this kind of standard one. It's not bad. It's not beautiful. But it's not bad. And I do run Shajing Bing because... What the hell? And, basically preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert, and then I would pick up Superintendent, Adrenaline Rush, and then main battery reload. Because it is Russian. It is still a Russian gunboat. Because when you look at the AB velocity, yeah, it's not as fast as the Ognivoys. It's about 30 milliseconds, shorter. but it's still a Russian gunboat. So treat it like a Russian gunboat, basically. This is a Russian gunboat. So you want to be firing from range, you want to do in your smoke, you want to use your torps, abuse those consumables, and play it from range. If you're in really close range with, like, you know, if you're on, say, Ultimate Frontier, and you've got squishy Omahas, get within that, you know, that 5.5 kilometer range, smoke up, pop your Hydra, AP those sides. The AP will just citadel it from there. So, you can do amazing damage with this thing. It's just about using the ship right. Like all Pan-Asian ships, they're very... The ability not to hit DDs, now that's where Lo Yang actually differs. Lo Yang doesn't get deep water torps. She gets normal torps. So she can hit DDs, which is great. But Siliwangi can only hit, you know, cruisers, battleships, and carriers. So that's difficult. So you have to worry about DDs really carefully. But, I mean, like I said, you know, you get the Hydro and the smoke. If you're getting torped in a smoke by a DD, you're doing something wrong. Usually... If you're going to contest with a Siliwangi, make sure you let the DD get in there and then push him. Make him feel like he has the advantage and then push him off guard. Remember, abuse this Hydro. Now you only get 4 charges, so you know, use it wisely. Use the ship, use it very wisely. Use it if you're going to push and everything. Usually, if you're in randoms, push with it, push with it, push with it. If you're in ops, you know, again, use it very aggressively. If something smokes up, say the transport's on Narare, use the Hydro, be aggressive with it. Get really aggressive. Going for the carrier, get really aggressive with that Hydro. You've got Hydro, use it. But she is an amazing ship. Now, I did not actually buy any money on this ship. Siliwangi was actually, you know... I got the ship basically for free. I got it from this last Christmas for out of the Christmas crate. So I got the ship for free. So, but this ship will cost you about, you know, $47, $42. She's a very expensive ship to pick up. While Lo Yang is just a much cheaper option. Lo Yang only cost you like $32, $33. So it's a very economical, very budget affording ship. It's one of the best ones out there, other than the Kid and Lo Yang. Or if you're gonna buy a tier 8 destroyer to use for ops or randoms, yeah, pick up Lo Yang or Kid. But I would honestly, if you're gonna use randoms, Kid. Operations, you can use Kid or Lo Yang. It doesn't really matter. But let's get into the replay version of the Siliwangi, and we'll see how she performs. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, or good night. Today I have a Siliwangi review replay. As you can see, I'm on Ultimate Frontier. My teammates are Wacky and Ishikaku, Massachusetts Turpits via Venetio, me, Shiriatsu, and an Eagle. Now, you know, this is going to be a good one. You know, Ultimate Frontier is like DD heaven. Played right, a DD can do so much damage. It's ridiculous. The trick is getting in. Once you get the DDs down, that's when it gets all easy. Now, as you can see by my ship, I am running Xia Jinping on this Siliwangi. Now, I did not buy this ship. I got this ship this last Christmas in one of the Christmas containers that I got for free. I did not... It would not be one of the ships I would want, personally. I did not want it, but after I started playing it, I really do have enjoyed this ship. As you can see, these are almost 18... These are 10k torpedoes, 18,000 damage, and 62 knot. That's actually pretty good. And this gets like Lo Yang Hydro. And then it gets the fast cooldown on the Pan-Asian smoke. So it's got a toolbox. And you see, like, they're in my hydro ring, so I just use my front guns and I push them. That's what's great about this ship, is that you have hydro that's ridiculously overpowered. Same with the low yang. Yeah, I do beach. That's unfortunate. Now, I would honestly say that this is... Now this, sorry about that. This is a very advanced tactic. It takes a lot of practice and skill to pull off. But a lot of practice, takes a lot of practice for sure. Because there's a lot that can go wrong. And it makes it so much more difficult when you got these DDs here. Because then you have to worry about smoke firing penalties. You can't just farm willy-nilly, so you literally have to prioritize these DDs to really make it easy. I'm going to show you what it's like when you're not able to get both DDs out, which is really unfortunate. Like, if the Shiryatsu and the Eagle had actually came out with me, we could have bullied all these battleships and everything around. If you can get a squad of 3 DDs out here, working in tandem, you can do so much damage. Now, the only downside about being this far away from them is that the torp spread, as you can see, which is it's unfortunate, but I don't really have a choice because the DDs made me have to smoke up sooner. I would have been about 2 kilometers closer, honestly. I do get a flood on that in New York, or the Wyoming. I'm trying to get some fires on this New York. The lack of guns, unlike the Liu Yang, does hurt it. But these are, remember, these are Kiev and Ogdevoy guns. So they are actually really decent ballistics. You know, like, I'm not getting any luck on the New York, so I decide, well, I'm gonna go for this Wyoming and knock him down. And we do see here that the Shiryatsu is finally coming in to help. But look at where he is. He's extremely close. Like, we're talking like danger close. You don't want to be that close. You can, I've done it, but it's not fun. Now you look at how he launches his torps. And look how I launch it. Like I've always stated, you want to be perpendicular to these guys. I pick the Wyoming because I know that one can die. And then I drop it ahead because I know that they're going to start turning back in. So that way when they turn back in, my torch will hit them. And then I basically speed boost. Well, if I had a speed boost, but I basically run to the island at H6. Because those cruisers, the Omahas and everything, are going to spawn right where I am. So I got to get out of here. And that's the only place a DD, if you go out here, can go. That's the only spot. See? Wyoming's down. Now, New York takes most of my torps. Otherwise, I think I would have got maybe 2 torps. But I do get 1 torp on the New Mexico, because I launched it that way. Which isn't bad for a target running away from them. And doing about 10k damage. Not bad. Switch to AP, because AP, like, whatever. Good. I get a fire. Too bad it wasn't a permanent one. And there's the cruisers, just like I slow down. I'm not going to be able to make it to the rocks. I have to literally duck and dodge at this point. I load AP, because I know I can at least try to Citadel it. Or do some pin damage.
Problem solved, sir.
Knock out his engine. Wacky's coming to help. Oh, he's gonna help kill the kill the battleship, hopefully. Nope, he is gonna come and help me. So that's great that Wacky is coming to help. There's one thing Wacky does know. He knows how to play a Shokaku. And he and I work really good in tandem together. We play a lot. We don't use, he doesn't usually do the DD strat with me. But he does mostly cruisers and battleships and carriers. He works really great in a carrier. Now, the fact that, you know, we had our Turpit's enter mass go up, that's unfortunate. See, I'm already at 100k and we're only 7 minutes in. That's really good. If you can crack 100k by doing this strategy right off the bat, that's phenomenal. That's what you want to strive for. And this is meant to show you how to get high damage games, positioning, as I always stress on the channel, positioning, and using the enemy spawns to your advantage. Now I got 30 seconds on my next smoke, and I know there's going to be cruisers coming off my left, or right. There's going to be 2 more cruisers spawning on my right. I'm getting into a position I love to get in. Now, I guess our Eagle does have the legendary commander on him, so kudos to him. I understand him playing kind of passive, you know. I mean, it's kind of really hard. And I see that the Omars are now starting to shoot me, so I have to be a little bit more careful. Now, sometimes these cruisers, the second set of cruisers don't spawn. Like right now, they do spawn right now. And, you know, I dropped torps thinking, okay, I should have aimed farther, but yeah, I really should have aimed that one about at least much farther, like I did this one. Because I totally, honestly missed the first one. Because you have to take into account the acceleration, and even I struggle with that. But you see, ATMs to the sides. Now the damage is just stacking up. Now if you had like a kid, these things would be dead by now. Because the rate of fire is ridiculous. And I'm just not getting lucky with the citadels, which is unfortunate. You do pick up the kill. 7 citadels.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
I'm gonna get a torp. Or 2 on that. And there goes off Shawshin being Talon. Torpedo. Speed. 6 torpedo hits, you get a 5% speed, so it's not much.
I need support.
And I'm requesting support because I know that the cruisers are going to be spawning right south of me. Like, I don't have a really big detection. My detection's pretty bad. It's not great. It's not like Lo Yang or Kid. So I have to be aware of that. I believe it's like 6-3. I'd have to recheck. But like I still got a hydro on, one hydro left and 2 smokes. My torps are almost off cooldown again. Now this is a really great spot. It's not option. It's very difficult to be in a DD, but you can do it. Now the point is to get into a DD, kind of get perpendicular if you can, but then just kind of let them come to you, and just drop a torp. If you're lucky, you might get maybe 1 or 2 torps. If you get 1, even better. It's just an easy way to get damage. Now, I hold my fire on this torp because I'm waiting just to get that perfect angle. Because I know if I launch now, I'm not going to get anything. He's going to go straight through him. So I wait to try to get a little bit more of his side so I can get it at an angle. And you see my other torps down there are almost on that. I get like 1. Yep, get 1. And they are going to pop into my detection soon, so I have no choice but to smoke out. I get a torp 16,000 on that one cruiser. It adds up.
Generator started.
I'm gonna get that kill though, unfortunately, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I just try to shoot it, but it's gonna get unlucky. Yep, the Eagle's fire picks it up, unfortunately. But I do have my, and then I load AP because broadside, right? Broadside. You wouldn't think, okay.
Smoke screen set.
And unfortunately, the Veneto takes it. Just not fast enough, folks. And yes, I am very low on health. Very low on health. But I've still got... I can still pull this off.
We intercepted enemy communications. A group of enemy destroyers.
That's what sets a good op player apart, is their ability to work on no health. If you can work on this kind of health for like 3 or 4 minutes and prolong going into the circle, kudos to you. But I'll be honest, I've only recently started doing that, living on such low health. But I've been able to pull it off so many times now that it becomes, once you pull it off about the first like 3 to 4 times, it gets easier. After about the 4th time, it gets easy. That's why if you're a super aggressive operations player, it all just starts to come naturally, but it takes practice. It's kind of like the Unicum random player. They have a lot of practice because they've done it for so long. I've done ops for so long, I can pull this stuff off. Now I want to share my knowledge with people and help them become better op players. See, 2 DDs down. Now I can actually go for the cruisers up here, which are Omaha, North Carolina, and I believe a Wichita. Or was it Cleveland? I believe it was the Cleveland, because one of them has radar. Yeah, it was a Cleveland, so I have to worry about the radar, which is unfortunate. And when you're looking at when you're working with only 14,000 health, and you're having to duck and dodge to get into torp range, it's not easy. It is not easy, folks. Fortunately, I do have support to help kill this. Once I get this DD down, I can actually go dark. Once my detection thing wears off. And then there's the radar, the 9 km radar on the Cleveland. So now I gotta worry about that. And I'm putting my torps on the North Coast because there's not really points. I just gotta wait and hope that I can outlive this radar. And I drop my torps because it's like, you know, I gotta get out of here. Wacky's coming in to help me. The radar goes down. So I'm like, okay, now I'm just gonna shoot AP. I'm gonna still take damage, but I don't really get a chance because Wacky just picks it up. But look at our battleships. They're all kind of like over. So that battleship's just kind of free damage for me at this point. Yeah, the forts are kind of doing it. But, yeah, like, that battleship's dead. He ain't getting away from these torps. Yes, the team is kind of firing on him. Kind of trying to do what they can. But this is my kill. No doubt about it. Look at that. Beautiful. 5 torps, he's gone. Now I'm up to 251,000 damage. Not bad for a pure torp boat.
Many thanks.
Now it's at this point that it's pretty much like cleanup operation. I'm like, yeah, drive within the health circle, get some more health, and then go back in. Yes, I know there's a Wichita out there, and I believe a Cleveland, but these torps are great. I'm super aggressive. That's what sets a DD apart on Ultimate Frontier. If you're a super aggressive DD, you will do amazing on Ultimate Frontier. But you've got to play it right, and you've got to know where the reinforcements are coming from. And the plane and the aerodrome strikes help with that. Always pay attention to where they're coming. If they're looking like they're heading towards the J line, they're going south. If they're heading towards the 10 line or the 1 line, that's pretty much your indicator there. I'm just like lining up my torps at this point because I don't have to worry about the DDs. They aren't going to hit the DDs, so I can just launch them at pretty much anything at this point. And it's like just trying to get away because now I have to worry about the radar. Ooh, good thing I got that off. I don't know why I popped my heal or my repair. I should have waited, honestly, because I think it's just a force of habit that I was doing it for so long. Unfortunately, they don't look at me. They stop looking at me. The torps just go underneath. I get one on the Wichita. Great, he's gone. Torps go into the smoke. Now this was unintentional. I did not want to put a smoke up for the Veneto. I didn't even know he was coming in. He just walked into it. I was saying you're welcome. Now I did get some torps, and I get like 2 torps on like the Musashi or the Missouri, and you know after that, I do try to crack 300k, but I'm not gonna get much higher because I can't see these guys no more. And I start pushing in, thinking, okay, maybe I can get it. Maybe I can last just a little bit longer, but I needed at least 2 more minutes. And I could have deleted both of them with my torps and my hydro. But it's just unfortunate. And I keep my AP loaded and my guns ready, so I'm like sitting there ready and waiting. And I get picked up by Hydra. It's unfortunate. I really don't know why I kept switching. I guess I was just really wanting to get another set of snaps off. I'm just not getting the pins to get that extra 30, get that 300k, which is unfortunate.